you try to settle in for a review, you try to get all pretty, and what happens? You cut your frickin' lip. My lipstick is becoming a bloody patchy mess because I've just gone and busted my lip. Good on ya, Ashley. Good on ya. My God, I can't take a freaking trick. Never rains, but it freaking pours. There's always something. Anyway, on with the video. Today, I am reviewing The Meg. Oh, The Meg. Nothing like a sneezing fit. Man, this video is going great today. Okay, so, like I said, I'm reviewing The Meg because I watched it, and that's pretty much the only reason I'm doing this. Oh, Lord. The Meg is a 2018 Chinese-American science fiction action thriller film directed by Jon Turteltaub with a screenplay by Dean Georgaris, John Hober, and Eric Hober, loosely based on the 1997 book Meg, a novel of deep terror by Steve Alten. The film follows a group of scientists who encounter a 70-foot-long, 23-meter megalodon shark while on a rescue mission at the floor of the Pacific Ocean. You know, for a movie about a giant prehistoric shark, this was painfully underwhelming. So much so that I didn't feel the need to watch it in one sitting. With half an hour to go, I took a break to go to sleep as the movie was inducing enough sleep in me to give me the best night's sleep I've had in weeks. That's coming from someone battling a case of laryngitis. Great for my recovery, not so good for the movie. From start to finish, I found myself watching purely out of necessity, having found nothing about the plot, acting, or visuals to keep me interested. Oddly enough, this 70-foot-long shark was surprisingly unimpressive. Perhaps I'm desensitized to shark films, seeing as how one seems to come out every month, or maybe it was just the way in which they went about it that had me unimpressed. I think it truly became dull when they brought the story to the surface. At this point, all that was really involved was people being knocked into the water every 2.5 seconds and a giant shark swimming around, which leaves no room for surprises or suspense since, given its size, you're always going to see it coming. Had the film kept the story taking place in the underwater facility, things might have been more interesting. Harder to know when a threat approaches, the danger is far greater, so there is more to work with. On the surface, every aspect of the film is highly predictable. I know that takes it into deep blue sea territory, but still would have been more interesting. When our shark is killed early in the film, it is obvious and again easy to predict that this was not going to be the only one. A film titled The Meg would not kill its leading creature so early on unless there was another one lurking around waiting to reveal itself. Basically, we're just watching people acting brave, which I would consider less brave and more psychotic, over and over again by choosing to go toe-to-toe with a creature they know nothing about. Much of the script work is arrogant, or at least it makes the characters arrogant. Characters submersing to inhuman depths, ignoring all rules about pressure just because they're tough, or a character believing she knows how to fight a megalodon simply because she's spent time diving with sharks. I think if you're comparing a 23-million-year-old shark that no one has ever seen before and knows very little about to your run-of-the-mill modern-day shark, then you should have your marine biologist card revoked. The megalodon and its behavior are no different to your run-of-the-mill shark in every other shark movie. Its only and most obvious difference being size, and as I'm sure many would agree, it's not the size that counts. We have a very diverse cast, and before I start cheering, I feel I need to point out that this casting seems a bit on the nose. I don't feel it was diverse naturally. It felt like it was trying too hard. I say this because as soon as every character opened their mouth to speak, you could clearly see that every single one of them was written stereotypically. I'm not sure if this was intentional and meant to be a joke, but if it wasn't, then the diverse cast, in my opinion, is a forced attempt at looking progressive when it isn't. Jason Statham goes all out on overacting, going more over the top than he usually does, and more than was even necessary. Li Bingbing, who keeps getting cast in these awful monster flicks, at least gives a solid performance, making me question comments I made about her acting abilities in the horrendous film Guardians of the Tomb. Ruby Rose, while solid in her acting, gets to play the stereotypical tough woman. The genius outsiders don't assume is a genius because she's young and a woman, but it's okay, the movie proves it's not an issue by having Statham's character point out she looks like she knows what she's doing. The fact this even needed to be said instead of just letting things run its course again shows it's trying to be politically correct and just making things awkward. Rainn Wilson plays our insanely rich comedic relief and not so bright white guy. Basically, Rainn Wilson was playing Rainn Wilson, as he does in most of his roles, except Charmed. Then there's Paige Kennedy, the token black guy who spends all his time hollering about how he should have gotten a different job and how they're all going to die. Think LL Cool J in Deep Blue Sea, only far more melodramatic. Being stereotypical, the film had to try its hand at a subtle race joke, with Jack Morris commenting on how DJ can't swim. DJ gets defensive, saying that's racist because naturally if a white person says something to a black person, it's racist. But the script quickly ensures our white guy is not a racist by merely pointing out the stupidity of being a person working in a marine facility deep underwater and not knowing how to swim. It's true, this is stupid, but what's more stupid is that any of that even needed to be included. I find many aspects of the script were unnecessary and tried to make the story have more impact and failed. A rich white guy trying to take out a giant shark at night and failing, a bunch of people trying to kill a shark even though it's not part of the job description because calling in trained professionals to do the job is out of the question, having a pointless helicopter crash just so everyone is once again thrown into the water. These people spend so much time in the water, there's hardly any point getting out. That entire scene was not needed. A wedding on a boat in the middle of the Megalodon zone and the annoying bride who keeps screaming at her dog who has gone for a swim. All she did was scream. She didn't chase after the dog, she stayed on the top deck yelling. She didn't even ask the numerous people in the water to please grab her dog and put him back on the boat. That whole scene was just annoying and again unnecessary. A shark heading towards a highly populated party beach with an all-you-can-eat buffet, also unnecessary. The scene itself lasted only a few moments and served no real purpose and just reminded me a great deal of the same scene in Piranha. I also find the connection to the opening scene and the rest of the movie to be a tad illogical. We have Jonas, Statham, trying to save people trapped inside a sunk nuclear submarine, but it's safe to say while they were very deep underwater, they were not deep enough to be in the area where this megalodon or megalodons live. So having the submarine attacked by a giant creature with a large bite radius doesn't make much sense. This deep-sea mission sees a group of scientists exploring a deeper section of the Marianas Trench concealed by a thermocline cloud of hydrogen sulfide. The experts clearly state they are testing a theory that there is water beneath this cloud and deeper unexplored water below it that until now had been unexplored and never even ventured to by any human. So if the megalodon live below this cloud and the cloud makes it impossible for them to rise any higher than this section of water, how did a giant shark attack the sunk submarine, which clearly was not sunk to the depths where this shark even lives? These two parts of the story sound flashy and work to paint the character of Jonas as a crazy drunk who gets to be proven to be a sane hero, but the way it's done is illogical and, in my opinion, extremely contradictory based on the rest of the script. I wasn't expecting much out of this, perhaps some dumb lighthearted fun at the most, but I didn't even get that. This movie is a bland, dull, boring film with a script full of holes and no real substance, not even enough to make it entertaining. Our shark achieves nothing, and unlike how many felt after seeing Jaws, does not make me scared to go swimming in the ocean. I hoped for a few chuckles and to walk away going, well, that was entertaining. I wasn't asking for an Oscar movie or for it to be super intelligent, just fun, and I didn't even get that. Yes, I did criticize for lack of intelligence, but that's because if you go into a project intending to be dumb fun, then you don't need to be smart, just fun. But if you go in trying to be smart and declaring yourself a science fiction action thriller film, then I am going to judge everything you bring to the table, plain and simple. In layman's terms, no, I didn't enjoy this, and no, I won't be watching it again. At most I can say I thought the scenes between Statham and the young girl were cute, but that's it. As always, that's it for today's video, but please be sure to comment down below and share your thoughts on this movie. As always, you know I love the good comments section, talking about movies. You know I love it. It's why I'm here. It's why I do what I do. And, you know, it's great when there's give and take, you know. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Anyway, I'm going to go and tend to this lip because it's annoying me. So, until next time, bye.